You cannot. Okay.
Holy Spirit,
They better do it, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
You better get them, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
Before I get them, Lord.
activate.
Hey.
Activate. Let's go. Holy Spirit, activate.
Oh no.
Holy Spirit, activate.
Okay.
Holy Spirit, activate.
Okay.
Activate.
Hey, hey,
Let's go.
they say I ain't saved cause I cuss a little bit. But you're the only judge that I need and that's it. They always in my business cause they say I backslid. They read the Holy Bible but they ain't applying it. So Holy Spirit activate. If you do it right now, that would be great. I ain't trying to smack this chick in the face. Don't you see me down here trying to change my way. So
Holy Spirit,
you better do it, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
You better get them, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
Before I get them, Lord.
activate.
Hey, hey, hey.
You cannot. Okay.
Holy Spirit,
They
activate.
better do it, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
You better get them, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
Before I get them, Lord.
activate.
Hey.
Activate. Let's go. Holy Spirit, activate.
Oh no.
Holy Spirit, activate.
Okay.
Holy Spirit, activate.
Okay.
Activate.
Hey, hey,
Let's go.
they say I ain't saved cause I cuss a little bit. But you're the only judge that I need and that's it. They always in my business cause they say I backslid. They read the Holy Bible but they ain't applying it. So Holy Spirit activate. If you do it right now, that would be great. I ain't trying to smack this chick in the face. Don't you see me down here trying to change my way. So
Holy Spirit,
you better do it, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
You better get them, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
Before I get them, Lord.
activate.
Hey, hey, hey.
You cannot. Okay.
Holy Spirit,
They
activate.
better do it, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
You better get them, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
Before I get them, Lord.
activate.
Hey.
Activate. Let's go. Holy Spirit, activate.
Oh no.
Holy Spirit, activate.
Okay.
Holy Spirit, activate.
Okay.
Activate.
Hey, hey,
Let's go.
they say I ain't saved cause I cuss a little bit. But you're the only judge that I need and that's it. They always in my business cause they say I backslid. They read the Holy Bible but they ain't applying it. So Holy Spirit activate. If you do it right now, that would be great. I ain't trying to smack this chick in the face. Don't you see me down here trying to change my way. So
Holy Spirit,
you better do it, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
You better get them, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
Before I get them, Lord.
activate.
Hey, hey, hey.
You cannot. Okay.
Holy Spirit,
They
activate.
better do it, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
You better get them, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
Before I get them, Lord.
activate.
Hey.
Activate. Let's go. Holy Spirit, activate.
Oh no.
Holy Spirit, activate.
Okay.
Holy Spirit, activate.
Okay.
Activate.
Hey, hey,
Let's go.
they say I ain't saved cause I cuss a little bit. But you're the only judge that I need and that's it. They always in my business cause they say I backslid. They read the Holy Bible but they ain't applying it. So Holy Spirit activate. If you do it right now, that would be great. I ain't trying to smack this chick in the face. Don't you see me down here trying to change my way. So
Holy Spirit, activate.
do it, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
You better get them, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
Before I get them, Lord.
activate.
Hey.
Activate. Let's go. Holy Spirit, activate.
Oh no.
Holy Spirit, activate.
Okay.
Holy Spirit, activate.
Okay.
Activate.
Hey, hey,
Let's go.
they say I ain't saved cause I cuss a little bit. But you're the only judge that I need and that's it. They always in my business cause they say I backslid. They read the Holy Bible but they ain't applying it. So Holy Spirit activate. If you do it right now, that would be great. I ain't trying to smack this chick in the face. Don't you see me down here trying to change my way. So
Holy Spirit,
you better do it, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
You better get them, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
Before I get them, Lord.
Hi. Hello everyone. Welcome back to my show, the Sean W. Show. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. Okay. Now we're back like we never left. Okay. We will be doing a coffee show right after this, pretty much. So make sure you guys get over there, get your chairs, get your seats. Definitely going to be a good show. So make sure you come and join us. I hope to see you guys over there. So let's get into the title. The title says Diddy wants Accuser doxxed to public. That is true. And lost CIROC deal and De Leon. That deal is gone too. And we're going to get into that, and I'm going to prove it because people just say it, but I like to prove things. So we're going to prove that we absolutely are. Cassie surfaces for the first time since suing Diddy. Now, don't get me wrong, she's been places, but we haven't seen her anywhere like publicly enjoying herself, not like in seclusion. You know, this is her like publicly being out, hanging out. So shout out to Cassie. We've been wondering how she was. So it's very nice to see her. Shout out to her. So we're definitely going to get into that as well. We absolutely are. Welcome back. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. So we're going to jump right into the topics because I don't want to hold y'all. Let's get into it. So let me pull this up. Boom. Boom. So Diddy drops bombshell lawsuit against the liquor company, okay? Diddy has dropped his bombshell lawsuit against the liquor company Diageo after the parties reached a private agreement, Radar Online has learned. Diddy and Diageo, I hope I'm saying that right, released a joint statement that stated Sean Combs and Diageo have now agreed to resolve all disputes between them. Mr. Combs has withdrawn all of his allegations about Diageo and will voluntarily dismiss his lawsuits against Diageo with prejudice. Diageo and Mr. Combs have no ongoing business relationship, either with respect to CIROC vodka or De Leon tequila, which Diageo now solely owns. Okay, and I'm a girl. So Diageo had submitted inside of their lawsuit that Diddy had against him, which was for discrimination and other things, and how they failed to not make sure that the liquor company De Leon was being properly distributed, meaning they ran out of liquor pretty much. So when it was time for it to go back onto shelves, there was nothing being stocked. So Diddy had a problem with that. Okay. Diddy was just like, okay, well, y'all doing everything in y'all power to make sure that my liquor company is not successful, which is not true. Diageo, and their response to Diddy's lawsuit about discrimination and, about racial discrimination, pretty much because he's Black, he's what Diddy's stating. Diageo stated that, no, we spent over $100 million in Diddy's brands, both CIROC and De Leon. We have done the utmost and went beyond even to make sure that both of these liquor brands, Diddy's line of CIROC and De Leon, the tequila, vodka and tequila, making sure that, they were out to the public, that everybody got it, everybody that was buying it was getting, what they were supposed to get and whatnot. So we've done everything that we have supposed to, that we're supposed to do. When it comes to Diddy, we've done more than what we were supposed to do, while Diddy had only put $1 million into the company that had garnished hundreds of millions of dollars. So Diageo, they put hundreds of millions of dollars inside of both CIROC and De Leon, while Diddy had only put $1 million of his own money, invested only $1 million. Okay, so Diageo went above and beyond for Diddy, while Diddy raked it in. We were speaking earlier about how these celebrities that are rich and they have these brands, how they don't necessarily pay attention to the brand. They just kind of slap their name on it and then go hang out and, just expect a bunch of revenue to come back from it because of their name. So Diddy would have CIROC all up in videos and, promoting it, even with Carisha Please. She would be promoting De Leon. Diddy was promoting De Leon in his music videos, even in features with Carisha and the City Girls and stuff like that. And so, so he had that was his way of feeling like, oh, okay, well, since I'm Diddy, it's going to make all of this money, when that's not true. It was the Diageo company behind CIROC and De Leon making it successful, not Diddy. Diddy likes to hire a bunch of people to do the work that he's supposed to be doing, and then he doesn't do the work. He'll just hire people to do it, and then when it starts falling apart, that's what he does. He'll go and blame the people, as narcissistic as he is. He'll go and blame the people that he hired versus to blaming himself for not being more hands-on with the company. You have a lot of these celebrities that will hire business managers and accountants and stuff like that. And then when they're being robbed by these people, robbed blind, they want to get mad at the person. It's like, no, get mad at yourself, because if you were paying more attention to your own business, okay, it would be harder for people to steal from you if you knew what was what. A lot of these celebrities, all they believe in is a person handing them a check and then them going to cash and not realizing that you are due more money than this, or this was a bigger check before you actually got it. They'll sit around and let all the managers and all of that stuff handle this business. And then when things don't go their way, then all of a sudden it's everybody else's fault. We've heard horror stories from people like TLC and stuff like that. They can blame Pebbles if they want to, but at the end of the day, that was T-Boz's fault, Chili's fault, and Left Eye's fault. That was y'all fault. Y'all dropped the ball when it came to your own name, and y'all were young. I get it. Signing those contracts, but you didn't have to. A lot of times people see the glitz and the glam, and that's enough. You see Pebbles driving a Mercedes, you think you're going to be overlooking the fact that she married to the boss. Did Pebbles earn that Mercedes, or did her husband buy for her? Let's see. That's what that word. So as easy as it is to point the finger at Pebbles, that was your fault. NWA, Ice Cube, all of them. I mean, you could point the finger at Eazy-E or Eazy-E's manager at the time, but at the end of the day, this is your fault, because it's coming to you being paid for certain things. You writing, you producing, you doing all of this stuff, and you are not being credited for it. And accredited for it and paid for it. You're not being paid for any of these things. You're just doing them. Yeah, you're getting exposure, but there's no check connected to said exposure. And then when the check comes in, it's not what you are due. It's the same thing with Diddy in this situation. He was making a lot of money with CIROC and De Leon. I believe that Diageo got wind of what was going on with Diddy behind the scenes, and not just Diddy, not just Cassie, other things that attributed to them wanting to cut ties with Diddy. This is where the lawsuit came from. The lawsuit came because Diageo no longer wanted to work with Diddy. They wanted to be done. They wanted, you go that way, we go this way. And at the time, Cassie's lawsuit was not present. So people thinking like the lawsuit had nothing to do with it, that is bull. They knew about the lawsuit before it came out. As soon as the lawsuit was submitted into court, they used Diageo, used that lawsuit as part of the reason why they should be able to cut ties with Diddy. Mind you, they already wanted to cut ties with Diddy, and Diddy stated that it was because he was Black. That's what his lawsuit was for. Racial discrimination and things in that nature. That was his only, he had nothing else. So he went with the Black card because he had nothing else. So they were already cutting ties with him. We don't want nothing to do with you. We want you to go away. We don't want you to be attached to us, connected to us. Go away. Okay. We want to erase you, abolish you. You gotta go. You gotta go. So since Diddy had nothing else up under his sleeve, he used the whole racial discrimination. You're doing this, you're cutting ties with me because I'm Black. Not them, although he done made probably $300-400 million off of this company. Diddy has made, and with him making all of this money, you want to turn these people into, because Diageo was basically a big bulk of what was going to turn Diddy into a billionaire. If he would have kept working with them, he would have entered, because he was already in the billionaire neighborhood. So with Diageo on these deals in De Leon, because De Leon was the second liquor brand that he had pushed through them. The vodka was CIROC, and then years later, he started the De Leon through the tequila line that Diageo has. So Diddy was trying to expand all of his business practices and make each brand bigger. So he was trying to make his liquor brand bigger and then also dispensary brands because he was trying to purchase basically a neighborhood, if you will, so that he can open up a bunch of cannabis dispensaries on them too. So getting that deal would have pushed Diddy into billionaire. Like he would have been a billionaire because the dispensaries would have been successful. They would have been in then opening up like a bulk of them all at one time, opening up like a chain immediately of it. It's going to garnish you a lot of income quickly. So that deal did not go through. And that deal didn't go through because no different than the Diageo company, they, I believe, heard wind in the background and what was going on with Diddy. And they wanted to remove themselves from any affiliation before the ish hit the fan. And the company that Diddy was partnering with that was actually going to open the dispensaries and have the license to do as such and whatnot, they turned the deal down. So it wasn't Diddy that ended that $100 million deal. Like a lot of money would have been made. Diddy is not the one that turned it down. They did. The partnering company. They decided, you know what? We don't want to do it. So they did not. And then it's not a coincidence that Diageo is like, hey, we want to sever all ties with Diddy. We don't want anything to do with him. We want him separated from our brands completely, and whatnot. So, and then Diddy got mad and filed a lawsuit against the Diageo company for doing as such. Now, if the partnering brand that we're going to open up the cannabis dispensaries with Diddy, if they would have signed on the dotted line, then Diddy would have sued them too. But the reason Diddy couldn't sue them is because nothing was written in stone. So nothing was signed, nothing was squared away fully to say we are in business together. They weren't. So Diddy just had to walk away. He just had to swallow it. He just had to swallow it. And that is exactly what Diddy did. So let's keep going. So that's how all of this is coming into the press. Back in May, Diddy's company Combs Wine and Spirits sued liquor giant Diageo. In the lawsuit, Diddy claimed that he had a partnership with Diageo to handle marketing. He said he was so successful in building the CIROC brand that Diageo asked him to work on a joint venture, De Leon Tequila. Diddy claimed that Diageo failed to market and invest in De Leon and instead put money into marketing Don Julio and Casamigos. I like Casamigos. Diddy believed that the decision was racist. The mogul claimed that the liquor giant failed to keep De Leon in stock with retailers. Now, Diageo is also a distributing company. So they distribute a lot of these alcohols. Hi, Pam. Reshape Your Reality. Oh my God, I love you. This is my Oh my God, I love you, girl. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to my baby. Reshape Your Reality, Pam. This is my boo. I love you down, girl. So shout out to my baby. So, yeah. So he stated that the action that they were taking against him was racist because he is a black male. So since he is black, this is the only reason why they were not distributing my liquor properly. Although Diddy said that Diageo asked him to do the De Leon partnership with tequila. So Diageo's argument with Diddy, their response was that they put over 100 million into the CIROC brand. And I mean, I guess you can include De Leon as well, but more so CIROC, that they put $100 million into that. And Diddy only put $1 million of his own money investing in the company. So it's given Diddy, you're lying that De Leon, Diageo did not want to do De Leon. De Leon was your idea. And I believe that they agreed with you because it came out. I believe the De Leon sales not only were bad, but I think that they were ready to end the relationship with him. And this is after the De Leon. De Leon has been out for years. It didn't just come out like last year, or anything like that. No, it's been out for years. So years later, the Diageo company was finally ready to sever ties with Diddy. And in the process of this, it just so happened to be all of this stuff coming out of Cassie. So in 2022, the liquor company was trying to part ways, and in 2023, well, not even in the beginning of 2023, Diageo was trying to part ways with Diddy publicly, and like we're basically asking the court to relinquish whatever ties that they would still have with each other, meaning their contracts were pretty much up, but I don't want him to get him away from us. And Diddy felt like slighted, I'm sure, because he's a narcissist, felt some type of way about them stating, we don't want to work with him. So he wanted to make it look like it was their fault by saying, oh, this is racial. They're discriminated against me because I'm Black. They didn't distribute my liquor, and all of this. It's just like, yeah, no, you already know what's up. They know what's up, and they don't want to be involved when it pops, because you have to look at how much business dealings. Over 18 companies have removed themselves from Diddy since Cassie dropped this lawsuit last year. So why would this company want to be connected to anything that Diddy has going on with Cassie? No. They don't want any involvement. Okay, they absolutely do not. They don't. So they removed themselves. So since they removed themselves, hold on, let's get into. Okay, we already got into that. Let's get into this. Since they removed themselves from Diddy, this wasn't just we don't want him being connected to the brand of our company. No, they wanted to get rid of Diddy completely. Okay, look at here. So this is the Diageo website. Okay, the company that was distributing all of Diddy's liquor and whatnot. Okay, I'm gonna make this as big as possible. Now, if you pay attention, it says latest stories, blah, blah, blah. You don't see anything about Diddy or anything like that. So I went to search, okay? And then I typed in CIROC. All right, now we're gonna search CIROC. There we go. Okay. Now, when you pull CIROC up, if you, I'm put myself on my screen. If you click on the image of CIROC, it brings you here. And as you see, it's, revolutionizing vodka, blah, 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 all that good stuff. All right. But I noticed that if you visit the actual CIROC, hold on, let me pull this up. If you visit the actual CIROC website, you know me, I want the tea. If you visit the actual CIROC website, oh my God, if you come here, you can order CIROC immediately. Right there, it says buy now. Right? See that? It says buy now. Shout out to Melanie Queen. She says he got the nerve to try to put hands on someone for drinking another liquor besides CIROC, a company he don't even own. Just a whole hot mess fool. I heard absolutely. Thank you so much, Melanie Queen, for the super sticker. Yes, but that is very true. He does not own CIROC. Now, Diageo completely owns CIROC and De Leon. Diddy does not own neither. So if you go to the CIROC website, you can buy CIROC now. So then I went and typed in on the Diageo website. Let me pull the Diageo website back up. And I believe that this is what they have been waiting to do. Literally. You pull the Diageo site back up. Then I went to the De Leon. So let's see. De Leon. I'm going to type that in. Liquor. Now, pay attention to this fun fact. When you type in De Leon, look what comes up. Diageo announces settlement of disputes with Sean Combs and sole ownership of De Leon Tequila. When you come to the beginning of the website, they do not state anything about Diddy when it says news, when it comes to the site, although this just happened. So you think that this with Diddy would be public. They're not making the statement that they have about Diddy public. You basically have to search it in their system in order to find it. And it has to be something connected to Diddy. CIROC, they removed the connection because before, like this week, if you typed in CIROC, Diddy will pop up. And with the CIROC at the bottom, Diddy no longer pops up, just the CIROC does. And it takes you to the CIROC website and you can order CIROC now. Now, the same place here that I just clicked to click on the CIROC and it took me to be able to order the CIROC, I'm going to click on the De Leon. This is what happens when you click on De Leon. They're not serving it at all. You can't buy it. None of that. Now, if it just so happens to be in some liquor stores already that just haven't been purchased, then you can still buy it. or if somebody's like selling it online, like if they've had some bottles, you know, and whatnot, and now they're selling them, then yeah, I mean, you can get it that way. But going into a store or ordering it offline, no. The only way that that could happen is if Diageo sold Diddy the rights to De Leon. They are not. They took those rights away from him, not only with De Leon, CIROC as well. So he has no liquor deal at all right now, besides him being licensed to, because there's like a three-way pyramid or tier with owning a liquor license and distributing and things in that nature. So technically, if he still owned De Leon, then he could just go to a new distributor. It's kind of like being in the record business. If you get dropped from a label, you can go to another one. You absolutely can. The only time that makes that hard is if you are in contract with the prior label, meaning that you're being held underneath stipulations and certain percentages and stuff are still being taken from set people. So a lot of people don't want to deal with that. Like if you have a car through a dealership, you're financing it, but you want another car, so you try to go to another dealership and finance. Even if you have decent credit, even if your car payment is current, a lot of dealerships still won't work with you. They would prefer you pay off the car that you already have. This is not that situation with Diddy. Not at all. Diddy does not own De Leon. He does not own it. He does not. It was partnered through Diageo. So Diageo took both names and both liquor brands away from him. And that's what Diddy was fighting in the first place. That's why he was stating that, oh, it's discrimination and this is racial and they're doing this because I'm Black, you know, and all of that, because he knows if they cut all ties, they'll get to take the brands with them because I don't own them. They do. With Diddy being the face of these brands, he got a big cut, you know, a nice percentage, you know, and out of, and he also got a different percentage because he has his own liquor branding as well. Just like, what is it called? Diddy Wine and Spirits or something like that. So he has his own. It's not just Diageo, the liquor company, because even now, I mean, being the face of something is completely different from actually getting a percentage from the distribution sales and, you know, and all of that. So Diddy was getting multiple checks being connected to Diageo, partnering with them. As you see, they were putting the bulk of the money behind the business, behind the sales. It was not Diddy. Diddy only put 1 million. Okay. They put over 100 million towards both brands, more so of CIROC, but of De Leon too. And so now it is completely gone. Diddy just probably lost, just with this deal alone, I would say upwards of $250-300 million. And probably something like that within the next few years if he would have stayed connected to Diageo. He would have made a lot of money off of them. It was a cash cow. And the crazy part about it is Diddy didn't really have to do much. He didn't have to do much. And it was selling like crazy because of the other brands that Diageo is connected to. So when you're going to grab bottles of like De Leon and stuff like that, it's going to be next to bottles of like Casamigos and, you know, and stuff like that. And oh my girl. So if Casamigos and other tequilas are gone, then when you go into the store, you're going to see things like De Leon. And so it's going to make people buy it, you know, just because, well, I came here to get some Casamigos. I ain't got no, let me try this. Let me see what this works, you know, this about, this dark too, like that, you know, blah, blah, blah. So it made it easier being connected to a brand like Diageo so that your liquor is placed next to theirs. So it ain't like his liquor brand was being put way in the back, you know, to where people, if you don't know the brand, you're not gonna, you know, see it. He's connected to Diageo. So their big liquor companies, their big liquor brands are all next to each other inside of liquor stores. So that's when you go into like the tequila aisle, you know, the rum aisle, you know, and stuff like that. It goes by distribution. It goes by company. Okay. And that's not just a normal standard liquor, vodkas, tequila, stuff like that. Those are premium branding of liquor. So they're going to be placed in the forefront. So where when you walk into a liquor aisle, you're going to see it. You're going to see popular liquors like Patron. You know, so you're going to see that quickly. And they also put things make certain brands for them to stand out, like the Patron box being like lime green and stuff like that. They do it to make it pop. The CIROCs, why people were interested in buying them, is because of how brightly colored they were and stuff like that. They kind of speak to you when you're in the aisle. Not everybody that's going to buy liquor knows what they want. Not everybody going to buy liquor know what to get. So some people go off popular opinion, things they hear in songs, things they see on social media and stuff like that. That's why it's important that Diddy had people like Young Miami and a bunch of other younger people being the brand for, you know, the face for him. So not only is he the face for liquor, he also having other people do it. You know, people like Young Miami, she don't even realize that she helping Diddy make millions of dollars, putting it in Carisha Please and stuff like that. For free. It's like, from what I gather, he didn't pay her to be a De Leon girl or anything like that. It's just, she's on Revolt Television, his show. You're going to support my brand and my liquor. And there was a bunch of other people that have podcasts and stuff on Revolt and whatnot that promoted the liquor as well. Diddy would gift it to people, you know, and all of that, just so that they were promoted for free. So that's what he was doing. And now that brand is completely gone. And that was his big issue, was that he was saying like, oh, they're not making sure that it's being distributed, that it's not in liquor store. That's a problem, because if all of these other liquors are being purchased, like Casamigos and, you know, all these other liquors, and his liquor is just like nowhere to be seen. He has his people going into the liquor store and they can't find De Leon anywhere. And he's pissed, like, okay, well, if it ain't selling, I'm not getting no check. He contacts them about why is it not in liquor stores, why is it not being distributed, and that's when they let him know, like, hey, you know, we want to cut all ties with you. And I do not believe that the Cassie thing was the main reason. I think that Diddy is hard to work with. I do. I think that when they looked at it as a company, we're putting way more into this product at this point in time than we're getting out of it. We're over it. When Casamigos and other liquors are bringing in hundreds of millions of dollars. Casamigos, and what is it, like $50 a bottle, $50 a bottle? Casamigos and whatnot, and my girl, and it be flying off the shelf. Like, people, for real, like, that is a very, 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 very highly anticipated alcohol within this point in time. So yeah, they keep it on the shelves, and it's not cheap. So with the not being cheap and it's selling out like that, you got people going in the store getting 5-6 bottles of it and whatnot, and then bottle service in the club and all of that. People are actually ordering that. People are actually requesting that. Nobody's sitting down a bottle service like you got De Leon. Ain't nobody doing that, but they will. You got Casamiga, you got Patron, you got Hennessy, you got the, you know, they will do it for those brands and for those companies. So yeah, and it's, again, premium liquor is to the front of the store, and De Leon came out a premium liquor. So how what do you mean racial anything? Like, this company hooks you up. Like, they've been very good to Diddy, more than what they went above. They bent backwards for Diddy. They did. They absolutely did. So I think it's crazy that he was trying to do that. But Diddy, of course, settled with them. And I believe that the settlement is that you will leave us completely alone. We own both alcohols and whatnot. I don't think Diageo cares if Diddy necessarily works with another company or anything like that, because Diddy's canceled right now. So they're not worried about a big liquor distribution company working with Diddy with his name right now. Like, his name right now is trash. So with his name being trash, ain't nobody worried about a big company coming and taking him in a liquor idea that he may have, because everyone sees that the success behind CIROC and the success behind De Leon was because of Diageo. It had nothing to do with Diddy besides his face being connected to the brand, and they have removed both. They have removed Diddy from the CIROC brand, and they have removed Diddy from the De Leon, and removed De Leon completely. They have pretty much scrapped De Leon, and they have made comments about it, which we just read the same comment. Hold on, but I can pull it back up. They said that they have decided to part ways after Diddy was so hell-bent on this lawsuit, now that the information has came out about Cassie, he has submitted. He has given in because he already knows how it's going to make him look in court. He already knows how he's just going to look dumb in court with them saying like, oh, well, yeah, you have every right. And that's exactly what it is. So right here, Diageo announces settlement. Let's make this bigger. Diageo announces settlement with Sean Combs and sole ownership of De Leon tequila. So they have sole ownership of it. Diddy does not own any percentage, no matter what they do. So if they decided to relaunch De Leon or anything like that, they have that right. They can do whatever they want to do with De Leon, and he can't say anything about it. And he agreed. He agreed. So that's how you know he was on bended knee, because he don't want a countersuit from this company, because they could definitely have countersued him, and I believe that they were in the process of doing it. So they're definitely countersuing him. They was not playing, but this is what happens when you feel like you're untouchable. You clearly are. Yeah, you absolutely are. Absolutely. So you have this liquor all up in the videos, all up in that. Diddy, have you ever swallowed?
Would have been swallowed up. Have you ever been swallowed up? Have you gone through a time of swallowing where everything was overwhelming and you would have
Diddy, have you ever swallowed, girl?
Diddy, up. Have you ever been swallowed up?
I would have been swallowed up.
Have you ever been swallowed up?
I
Have you gone through a time
would
of
have
swallowing where everything was overwhelming and you...
Have you ever been swallowed up? Have you ever been swallowed up? Yeah. Ooh, Diddy upset. Have your friend pray for you and my girl. Have your friend pray for you and my girl. So let's get into Cassie. Let's get into Cassie quick. So Cassie has surfaced, but before we get into Cassie, well, I guess we can get into Cassie surface. Look at my girl. Cassie looks amazing. Okay. Now she was spotted during New York Fashion Week. Look at her. Oh my gosh, she looks amazing. She's stunning. So Cassie looks amazing. She's did New York Fashion Week. And not only that, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna need y'all to stop believing him. Hold on, not that. Not only that, she was also supporting. Look, Diddy. Look, Diddy. Look. Look. Diddy. Look who she was supporting. Diddy, look. Look. Diddy. Look at Cassie, man. Diddy. Look. Sean. I would have been swallowed. Diddy, have you ever swallowed? Diddy, look at Cassie, man, and then my girl. Diddy. Diddy. Look at Alex. Look at Alex in your got this outfit with your money. Look. Look. Look at Cassie, man. Looking 1,100 times better than you. Look. Look. Y'all want to talk about that? Alex was doing Fashion Week. He looked amazing. And his wife was very so much there in support of her man. Look. Did he have ever been swallowed? Don't this just make you want to swallow Diddy, girl?
Would have been swallowed up. Have you ever been swallowed up? Have you gone through a time of swallowing where everything was overwhelming and you...
Diddy. Sean, look. Untouched. You better not put your hands on him. You better not touch Alex. And I'm agree. And you're upset. Have you ever been swallowed up? Because he's swallowing you up on this runway. You're upset. Mm-hmm. You absolutely are. You want her to be unhappy so bad. Why? She married with a beautiful charm and a husband that love her. Look, ooh, you're mad. Ooh, you're upset. Pissed, aren't you? So Alex was out here in these streets too. He absolutely were. Okay. Not only was his wife out here casted and surface, she looks amazing. Let's pull that back up. But her husband was right out here with her and get tried. So and then my girl, look at Cassie. Oh, Cassie's so beautiful. So she was out here. She did New York Week, New York Fashion Week. I believe she's supposed to be doing Paris too, unless that already happened. But I believe she's supposed to do in Paris too, because I've seen Alex walk on the runway somewhere else too. This wasn't the only place because Alex posted him walking. That was today. Him posted him walking the runway. So he was on that today, and you're upset. And yeah, Diddy, you're upset because they get to go outside and people want to see them. You're pressed. So and then my girl. So the churn. My girl, yes, Mr. Alex was out here in these streets with his wife. So shout out to Cassie. Cassie looks very good, and yeah, she was just chilling. So I just wanted to show you guys she's surfaced. Yes, Cassie. We've all been wondering about her and wondering how she's doing. And it looks like she's doing fine. It looks like Cassie's doing just great. She's out here still with her man. They're going strong. And they're a beautiful family. So, shout out to Cassie. I'm super excited for her and Alex Fine. Shout out to both of them and congratulations. Alex, you look amazing on the runway. So let's get into this. Diddy demands woman suing him over alleged SA to be forced to reveal her identity in court despite wanting to proceed as Jane Doe. So let's get into the meat and potatoes, because the Network Talk, they shout out to them. But I like to go to the source. So they say they got this information from Radar Online. So let's go to Radar. Let's go to Radar, girl. So basically, what I'm gathering from what Diddy is saying with this now, if you don't know, there's a young woman, was a young woman, and she stated that Diddy and a friend of his, a person that worked for him, that they did things to her. Hold on, let me read that first for the people that need a refresher. Right here. I'll just pull this up. So Diddy accused of R-wording 17-year-old after, her with or in shocking new lawsuit, okay? So, and this was December 6, 2023, okay? So Diddy has been sued by a fourth accuser who claims that the rap mogul, ex-Bad Boy president Harv Pierre, and an unidentified man took turns R-wording her in 2003 when she was in the 11th grade, after she was across state lines. In the lawsuit filed on Wednesday and obtained by Radar Online, Jane Doe claimed that she met Pierre and the third assailant at a lounge in Detroit, with the record label CEO name-dropping Diddy by claiming they were best friends, okay? Pierre allegedly called Diddy, who she claimed convinced her to accompany the record label executive and the unidentified third man on a private jet and fly from Detroit to his studio in New York City. The then teenager alleged that she was SA'd before she got in the air. Her quote, "Before they left for the private jet, Mr. Pierre smoked some crack in the bathroom at the lounge, in which he also SA'd Miss Doe by forcing her to give him the lawsuit, which included a trigger warning in bold red letters, read, after the alleged SA, Mr. Pierre, the third assailant, and another gentleman then escorted the high schooler to a private jet, which flew them to Terboro, a girl, New Jersey girl, where the SUVs awaiting the group at Tetraboro and my girl. And the four of them were driven to Daddy's house recording studio, a studio famously owned and operated by Mr. Combs and Bad Boy, according to the docs. Her quote, at Diddy Studio, Jane Doe claimed that she was piled with and alcohol. As the night wore on, the 17-year-old Miss Doe became more and more inebriated, eventually to the point that she could not possibly have consented to having sex with anyone, much less someone twice her age, the lawsuit stated. Her quote, while at the studio, Miss Doe was worded, oh my goodness, by Mr. Combs and the third assailant and Mr. Pierre in that order. Okay. So also says, according to Jane Doe, she alleged that the assault happened in the bathroom. She claimed that she did not consent to doing anything with Mr. Combs, but he continued thrusting. Jane Doe alleged that she turned around to face him, but he told her that he could not and asked her to squeeze his nipples as hard as she could to get him off, girl. Very gay. Very gay. Don't look at me, little puppy. Don't look at me. So it's just like, why she can't look at you? Is it because she's a girl? Is it because she's a woman? Why don't you do that to her? Why did you do that to her? Oh my goodness. Ugh. She said he then turned her back around and continued to hour her. Ooh, girl. At some point, while allegedly slipping in and out of consciousness, she looked up in the mirror above the sink and reportedly saw the unidentified man from the plane had replaced Diddy. Oh my goodness. Y'all is some dirty, dingy dudes. Like, what is wrong with y'all? Like, how do you find any pleasure out of any of that? Like, that's how disgusting y'all is. Y'all don't even feel like y'all need permission. Y'all feel like it comes with the territory. Like, it don't. It really don't. It don't. That's crazy. That is crazy. So that's just a reminder, a refresher course for the people that don't know what we're talking about. Now let's get back into this. So Diddy demands accuser suing him over alleged SA be forced to reveal her identity in court. So Diddy wants this woman to identify herself. Now there has been a picture of her, a picture of a woman that has been being sent around social media. The Neighborhood Talk and whatnot had posted it back in the day. This young woman sitting on Diddy's lap in the studio. And that's who he's basically stating that it is Diddy. But let's get into this and see the real reason Diddy wants this Jane Doe to come forward in the first place. Let's get into that. So it says, Diddy asked the court to shut down the request by one of the women suing him to remain anonymous in court. So he does not want her to be anonymous. He wants her to be, He wants her to say who she is. According to the court documents obtained by Radar Online, the music mogul and his legal team filed their argument under seal. So this argument is sealed. You can't see it. Diddy said the alleged victim asked to proceed anonymously as Jane Doe in the case. Diddy said that he does not agree with this. He said he recently learned the plaintiff's name after being informed of her identity by her counsel. His team put together a motion to oppose her request to remain Jane Doe, but asked that the motion be sealed. So here's what's going on. Diddy wants this young woman to be listed as a public person. He does not want her to remain anonymous. He does not want that. And the reason he doesn't want her to remain anonymous, I don't feel like you understand, Diddy. Let's start here. This is a victim. Okay. So with you wanting her to come forward and make her a target by coming and letting people see who she is, because there are still people that support Diddy, right? So those people are going to attack her and tear her down and victim shame her and make her feel bad about coming forward with these things and whatnot. And also, I'm sure this victim, it sounds as if she may have children and things. And I mean, who wants their kids to know something about, like, who will want their kid to, did y'all just, and I was editing the story. What parent would want their kid to know something that vicious, that triggering, that happened to them? Why would she want to be publicly known as the person who 3 men had their way with her as a 17-year-old, as a high schooler? Why would she want that? Why would she want, even maybe she's married, maybe her husband doesn't know, maybe her family doesn't know. You know, there could be many reasons why she wants to remain a Jane Doe. Many reasons. Why you want to dox her for this reason right here. Let's get into it. Let's get into the reason why Diddy wants to dox her. So Diddy had all of this sealed. He wants her to publicly be her and not be Jane Doe, but he wants it sealed so that people don't see that he is being disgusting, that he is doing everything in his power to try to humiliate this woman in many ways, is what he is trying to do. And so let's get into that. Let's get into, okay, motion be sealed. So it says, Diddy explained that his motion does not reveal the accuser's name, but it does refer to certain facts about plaintiff that the Combs defendants have learned because her identity was disclosed by plaintiff's counsel. So if you know her name because her counsel told you who she is, why do you want her to not be announced as Jane Doe? Why do you want her to be revealed as her true identity versus to her keeping this anonymous? I'm going to tell you why right here. A judge is yet to rule. The motion was first reported by journalist Megan. Okay. So Diddy says right here, let's go back up right here. Diddy said that he does not agree with this about her being a Jane Doe. He said he recently learned the plaintiff's name after being informed of her identity by her counsel. His team put together a motion to oppose her request to remain a Jane Doe. What this is giving is that you don't know who she is. You don't know who she is. You don't know who she is. Because if you know who she is, then why do you want her public as her name? If her counsel told you her name, why do you want it public? Don't you know it? Most people want a person's name that is listed as a John Doe or as anonymous. Most people will want their name public so that they can know who they are. So that's why a person would oppose them being listed as a Jane Doe if they don't know who they are. So if somebody's suing me and I know who you are, I don't need to oppose you to stay as a Jane Doe. I know who you are. So I can easily say it's this person that's suing me. Easily say that. You want her identity to be public so that people can shame her. You want her identity to be public so that people can attack her is what you want. You want her identity to be public for if you have a plan to do something to her. And I'm a girl, allegedly. If you have a plan to do something with her, that you're not the only target. If she just so happened don't show up to court, or she just so happened to disappear and whatnot, you don't want people to think that it's just you. Because what other reason would you want her name to be public besides ridicule? What does that matter? You're innocent, right? You're innocent, right? You know who she is, right? Then why does she need to be public? You're disgusting. You are a horrible person. If this is frivolous, get it dismissed. If there's no truth to it, get it dismissed. Get it dismissed. You're going to settle with her. It's another reason why you want her named too. You don't plan on taking this to court. You would have did it with Cassie. Cassie was the domino effect. To stop Cassie is to stop all of the other accusers that would have came forward after her. That's why we know it was a deliberate thing. Cassie did not have to file the lawsuits against Diddy into court. She submitted it into court because she wanted it on record. It's that simple. Because she didn't have to submit the lawsuit into court to do a settlement. She could have did the settlement behind the scenes. She didn't have to. She could have settled behind the scenes and never submitted the lawsuit. And she wouldn't have been in any trouble because the Adult Act protects these people and it also allows them to be able to sue. That is not a crime. So if Cassie would have set up behind the scenes and whatnot, it wouldn't have been like, oh, well, this is a money grab because you were supposed to bring this into court. No. Civil. Optional. Optional. She didn't have to bring it into court. She didn't have to do that at all. And Diddy was always willing to settle outside of court. That's how you know that Cassie's telling the truth. Because if Cassie was not telling the truth, it was detrimental to Diddy to make sure he fought what Cassie said. Because she's the domino effect. So you got these Jane Does that are coming forward suing. They're not strong enough for a domino effect. They're not strong enough. Cassie is powerful. Her testimony, powerful. Her lawsuit, powerful. Domino effect, meaning I'm going to do what Cassie did. Cassie has inspired me to do the same thing. So it would have been important to get rid of Cassie, to get rid of her, not like rid of her, but rid of her lawsuit before it even made it into court, because that's what Diddy's attorneys were trying to do. They were trying to get it before he offered Cassie outside of court before Cassie submitted $1. So if before she submitted any paperwork into the court system. So if Cassie just wanted money, she could have just took it. And we would have never known. We would have never known. Never known. Now, I believe that Cassie had always intended on settling. I agree with that. I do. Because still fighting Diddy, that's a monster. That's a powerful person to be fighting. You know, that's not an easy fight. So the reason why I said she was always planning on settling is because the Adult Act protects people and helps assist them into filing lawsuits, not criminal charges. So lawsuits. So why would she not settle? She was always going to sue. That's what the Adult Act is for. So it's money. Compensation is what the Adult Act is helping the victims secure. A check. So why would she not have already had in her mindset that she was going to settle? Her and Diddy going to court would not have been criminal. That's civil. Okay? But upon what's happening in court, it could turn criminal. So it was better for Diddy to settle before going into court with her, because if she went into court and stated more of the story and went into detail about the things that happened to her, as mandated reporters and whatnot, the judge, the police that are in the room, everybody, it would have to be reported because these are crimes that are being stated. Okay, the things that Diddy was doing to her and what she was suing him for were not for legal things. Okay, so it's better, and you best believe her testimony and the people that she would have had come forward that witnessed said things that happened to her, he would have lost. He would have lost. And that makes things worse with the press, because everything that is submitted into court, everybody gonna be live talking about it. Everybody. So Cassie comes forward and details certain things that happens and whatnot. It's gonna be all over the internet. It's gonna be everywhere. Witnesses come forward and state what they saw. It's gonna be everywhere, all over the internet. Look at Cassie's lawsuit. Look how that literally, her lawsuit was viral. It was everywhere. You cannot tap anything and not see something Cassie related. This is powerful. Now, a Jane Doe doing something like that, it's not powerful because we don't even know who the person is. There's no face, so it's just kind of just like claims that are being made. But people like Cassie give Jane Doe's power. It gives them a different, start. Instead of thinking like, he's too powerful, he's this, he's that, he's this, he's that. It's like, okay, well, Cassie doing it, I can do it too. Somebody as big as her, somebody that is involved with him, someone that I can relate to the things that she's saying, because a lot of these things have happened to me, and whatnot. Cassie is the spokesperson for all of the people that have ever been hurt or harmed by Diddy. Absolutely. She is holding the torch. And so it's easy for her to pass it to other people. Domino effect, to where it's just, of course, people are going to come forward after somebody like Cassie being as brave as she was to do so, because again, she did not have to submit it. She wanted that information out there. Cassie did that deliberately. And I believe she did it for other people because she knows it's happened to other people. She knows she's not the first. I'm sure she's watched certain things happen to other women and men and stuff like that. So, shout out to Cassie. That's why people are so proud of her, because it's not an easy thing to do. Look how much ridicule Cassie got. There were so many people trying to come forward and whatnot. But then when Diddy settled, it shut all those people down. It shut all those people down. And so with Diddy not fighting what Cassie brought against him, he up. He up. And he know he did. Because he should have fought that. That's the case to fight. Because that would have abolished a lot of other people for coming forward. But he thought, because Cassie, I believe honestly, I believe Cassie's lawyers said, we agree to the settlement, right? And Diddy felt comfortable during this, because the lawsuit was not filed yet. It was not submitted. Diddy felt comfortable. So he like, okay, yeah, we got it buried, because he offered her upwards between $10 and $100 million outside of court, not in court, outside of court. He offered her this. I believe that her attorneys and Cassie agreed. But what Diddy did not see coming was Cassie was going to submit it and then settle. That's where Cassie's lawyers got Diddy, because Diddy thought it was gone. That's why y'all see that picture of him leaned over and whatnot at his house in Star Island and whatnot. No, he really sick to his stomach. No, he really is. And that was like 2-3 days after Cassie, well, not even like a day or two after Cassie filed the lawsuit, with him bent over, holding his stomach and whatnot, sitting outside with the people that work in his home, his assistants and cooks and stuff like that. He had no idea that Cassie was still going to submit that lawsuit. I think he thought it was over, that he used his money to get out of the situation, like he's done time and time again, not only with him, but with his own children. And Cassie was just like, gotcha. I'm going to settle, but it's going to be in court. Yeah, the judge is going to know that we settled. It's not going to be a settlement outside and you gag order me and all of that stuff. Okay, you can gag me after the public knows why I settled with you. You absolutely can. You don't have to worry about me saying anything. I don't need to. This will speak for itself. because this won't go away. Why do you think that Cassie made sure that the allegations were stated inside of the lawsuit? So that when the world read it, they will read what happened to her. They will read why he has given me the money that he given me. And again, Cassie wasn't just suing him because she's broke. She was suing him because New York allowed her to. New York made an adult act to protect victims and get compensation for the trauma and the struggles that they've had in life because of what their abuser did to them. They gave them that. So why was she not? How was that a money grab? If it's a money grab, if Diddy gonna be mad at anybody, he needs to be mad at the state of New York. You got to be mad at them. California just did it. There's other states that are adopting it as well. So this is just the beginning. And this is why Diddy is so pressed. Because there are other states that are adopting the Adult Act. Okay? So if a state opens up the Adult Act, if he did something there, victims can come forward. And there's been plenty of victims that have come forward of what's 4. We're on victim 5, victim like 4 or 5. So the more states that adopt it, the more people that are going to come forward. So this is just the beginning. And he knows that. He does. That's why he's trying to destroy these victims. He wants to out them. He wants to remove the Jane Doe from their name and add their real name to scare other victims from coming forward. He wants Jane Doe to be removed. He wants her name to be public to scare other victims. That's all that is. Because a lot of these victims feel, I think it helps them, gives them more confidence to come forward, knowing that they can stay anonymous. But to know that they may not be able to stay anonymous, that their whole tea is going to be out there with their name associated. And again, this is a hard way for people that you haven't told in your day-to-day life about what's happened to you for them to find out. If you didn't tell your mom something, your husband something, your son something, your daughter something, your cousin something, your brother something, and they go on the internet and they see your face and they see the storyline behind it saying that Diddy and 2 other men did ... to you, how horrible. How horrible would that be? You know, for friends and family members and jobs and stuff like that to call you and be like, hey, I didn't know. Why didn't you tell me? You know, I would have been there for you. You know, and it's not that. When most victims, it's not that they don't tell people because they don't think that people want to be there for them. A lot of times it's a lot of what happened to them that they still haven't came to terms with. It's a lot that happened to them that they still avoid, that they still suppress. Talking about things like that can be extremely painful and triggering. They're not easy topics. So it's not that they don't trust the people around them, that they don't love them, that they didn't want them to know. It's how do you tell them? How do you fix your mouth to tell somebody something that you haven't came to full terms with? To have to relive those moments and be ashamed of yourself and blame yourself, and a person to feel like you're a certain way because you allowed or because certain men felt that they could do ... to you, that you're a drug user, that you're this, that you're that. It's not easy. It's hard. And monsters like Sean Combs don't look at it that way. They look at it as a way of money, you know, of a way of protecting their profits and money to come. You know, they don't look at them as human. They look at them as things. It's that's, you know, they don't look at them as equal. You know, Diddy feels too big for these people. Oh, well, I did what I did to you. Oh, well, it was a long time ago. You shouldn't have been there. You did it. It's everybody's fault but his. You know, he didn't do anything as far as he's concerned. No narcissist, you know, does anything. He will take no accountability. So even now, he wants the Jane Doe to announce who she is. What does that have to do with anything? What does that have to do with anything? Besides the fact you want to humiliate her. You want her to be humiliated. You want her to go around and have conversations with people that she's not ready to have. Just because she's ready to sue does not mean she's ready to talk. It doesn't mean that. A lot of people take things like this to their grave and don't rest properly because of it. How can you sleep holding on to a nightmare? How? If you know you're going to have a nightmare, are you not going to fight your sleep? So I don't get that. It's the difference going to sleep having a nightmare, but going to bed with one is completely different. Fearing what happened. It's it's a whole nother struggle, a whole nother type of pain. Because that's usually when we release. We release in our sleep because we don't have much control. Even in dreams, it feels like we have control, but we don't. There are sometimes we're in dreams and we wake up because of something going on that we can't control because it's not going how we want it to. So we'll wake up and we'll view it as a nightmare. Okay, well, imagine walking around with a nightmare all day. And that's how most victims are. They're walking around suppressing a nightmare because they can't get rid of it. If you're having nightmares, there's no way to stop it. It just kind of just goes away. So it's the same thing with these traumas. It's not something you can just get rid of. Some people are lucky, and over time they gain peace with it and move on from it with proper therapy and conversations and whatnot. And then there's some people that hold it in and never find any peace because it's not a solo journey. You cannot do it alone. You do need assistance. You do, because you got to get out of your own mind. You got to get out of your own nightmare. So you have people that are victims that wake themselves up from nightmares. In order to get help, you need somebody else to wake you up. You need someone else to wake you up. I know from experience. You need someone else to wake you up. It's not enough. It's not enough waking yourself up from the nightmare because we also suppress them. So, and in order to truly move on from it, you need assistance. You cannot do it alone. You can try. You can heal. Your journey is alone. But the healing process, you need help. Please don't feel like you can do it by yourself. Please don't feel like if you just keep avoiding it, that one day eventually you won't think about it no more. You will. You will. You do need help. You cannot do this alone. You can't. I understand when they say you can bring a horse to water, but you can't make it drink it. It's the same thing. You can bring yourself to water, but for some reason you're not drinking it. So you might need somebody else to bring you to it. you might need somebody else to bring you to it. You know, that's why I'm saying, like, you definitely need help. It's not a solo journey. It really is not. Now, I understand, like, sobriety, you know, and things like that. Those are more so solo journeys, and you still need help with that. But at the end of the day, you're the only person that can make sure that you don't do said things again. With this, it's not your fault. With sobriety, it's usually your fault. You know, that's an action you're choosing, whether it's drinking or whatever. Those are you decisions. Somebody essaying you, or that's not your fault. That's not your fault. That's why you can't heal alone, because when you try to heal alone, we blame ourselves. We blame ourselves. We take accountability in some way, shape, or form. Especially women. You know, they'll question themselves. Well, maybe if I wouldn't have wore that short skirt, maybe if I wouldn't have, you know, kissed him before, maybe if I wouldn't have went out on those dates with him, you'll find ways to make it your fault. And it is not. It's nothing about that is your fault. And you can't find that out alone. You can't. You can try, but you will not come to terms with it on your own. We all need a little help, and that's okay. It's okay. It absolutely will be okay, but you got to get help. You do. You know. So I love you guys. So I am going to get out of here. I have a show on coffee in about 10 minutes here. I'll see y'all in about 10 minutes. Thank you all so much for the super sticker, super chats. Thank you so much for liking the video. Comment below, like on the replay. I love you guys. I will see y'all over on coffee, and I will see you tomorrow over here on YouTube. Thank you so much for being here. Subscribe if you haven't already. And until the next show,